before, but I think as a cohesive unit, Dinko, we haven't seen it just yet.
Yeah, it's definitely not an easy team to go up against, who are very comfortable on the effect. Quick out mid here from G2, actually getting information off that recon bolt as well, but just look how much ground they've got here, G2 already. Mimi is probably the player in the worst position here. She has the potential to get flanked around, but the plant is already coming through. The spike is already planted, and Mimi's gone ahead and got one, finally traded out, but that's information passed on to her teammates who currently stand in the post-plant setup already.
I love that. Swift with it. The women have beautiful dinner reservations they need to get to, and they want to make sure the spike gets down ASAP. They brought the fight right up towards the defenders as well. So this is a real big choke point here for Karse, and they know that if they don't hold on to Snowman, well, that's been obliterated, and that's the kind of thing that G2 is showing. That is the map knowledge. That is how you want to take control of Icebox, because you know this map better than anyone else. Well, Zilf, stop observing in the worst mode. Thank you. Don't do that to the poor girl.
Don't do it to her, yeah.
Don't do it to her, man. Come on, bro.
I've seen better walls. Certainly have. But it should be pretty simple here for G2 Gozen again, because you look at the buy here for Karse, there's not a lot going their way. A couple of upgraded pistols in there. But this should be G2 going 2-0 up.
Something interesting to note as well, Juliano, we've touted her as being one of the best leaders from the front. A duelist role oftentimes, and happens to be one of the biggest brains inside of TAC FPS in the women's, FPS world forever. So the fact that she's on a controller role on this particular map to give Mary a little bit more of that front-running opportunity, you see her always leading the charge. This means they've changed roles around to be able to give lead to players in their best role.
Well, here comes the absolute massacre likely to unfold. It's Petra with it first. It is Toki that has gone away first, and Juliano to swing on out. Lovely tap. At the range, she should have the advantage with the better weapon here. The Bulldog has a bit of a bark behind it. And a bit of bite too. Petra still using the Spectre. Juliano comes in,
Why did they keep going? Why did they keep going?
Feed the beast, just get into this more control role. It's cool to see that, in this team, you have a couple of duos, a couple of synergies, I think, with Mimi and Petra, obviously. Very good outside of the server together, and inside the server too. For Juliano, you mentioned her experience. Throughout her career, it's been Zaz, and she's out of there.
I know. I miss her.
Yeah, exactly. But, she said that Mary was basically like a little version of her.
Aww.
So maybe that relationship can start to build between Juliano and Mary as well inside of the game. So that would be really cool.
Wherever you got that information, I'm glad you graced my ears with it, because I needed to know that Juliano had filled the Zaz void. Speaking of filling the void, Viper diff coming out, and Poetite finally activates. Juliano dropped. That's going to be one of the important agents, especially when you think about this wall over towards A that they had set up here. Won't be able to come in, and that pushes all of the players back. Nice wall. This time it works, and that's the kind of thing we're talking about here. Getting rid of the Viper is crucial in the early round.
Well, spike goes down. G2 looking to hold on to it. And this would be a fantastic turnaround. I get 3-0 up already. From what you've mentioned, the fact that Karse's defensive side is where they do a lot of heavy lifting, even on a map like Icebox. If you can limit those early rounds going their way and you win a bonus, you're going to be feeling very good about this G2. Here comes the wraparound on the retake attempt. Glance is quick to the first. Mary follows up, and it's all going downhill here for Karse. Not able to compete at all with the ability of G2 there. And that's 4 players staying up for G2 and a third round added to the tally. You've let G2 build so much money up in residual cash, but you've also put yourself in a position where you're just on upgraded pistols and a Marshal again. So really tough stuff ahead here for Karse.
Not even one player scoping it out towards B, that mid-control. Heard the Marshal ring out. Juliano let out a yelp. Good opportunity now for her to be able to take out some key players towards mid. I don't know whether or not this is the play. She also has a Viper's pit in pocket, so that's an interesting one. And that's an interesting shot dart. There you go. No one in a position there on yellow to be able to collect it. And this round seems to be going a very certain way. You think about the fact that the Viper's pit is being saved for a future round when they know they're going to have a full buy. I mean, that's salt in the wound, Dinko.
Yeah, it really is. Petra, shot guard.
Oh, come on.
Okay, Petra. Oh, give him a chance. 3 kills. Flawless round for G2. And you're getting at least a real display of brilliance on the mechanical skill end for G2 today.
Gun here.
Meta and still is to this day to some degree if you're not running the fade, and that's something that she just still sticks to. And every time she plays the Sova, she just has this aura of confidence that you can't seem to get rid of, and that's an interesting shock dart. I wonder where that came from. I'm just looking over towards, it must come over towards mid and top. Okay, interesting. And Toki, that glass cannon has to hit because that's an expensive weapon that she needs to be able to make come to fruition.
Well, information gathered now with the shots being faded out. Here comes the Hunter's Fury. Looking, oh, Toki's actually dropped down into close quarters, luckily not being caught by it, but you need to be very careful here. Passive doubled up towards yellow. Viper's Pit invested into here for Juliano to give him a corridor to run towards the site. She's taking so much damage. She's 14 HP in the middle of that initial fight. Very lucky to still have it up, but it's a fake. It's a complete fake out towards this B site because G2 are going back over towards A. And while Metzly is being so patient holding her position, and she realizes now that G2 are actually coming over towards this A side of things. Metzly and MissLaia coming with the first 2, and Poetite getting involved as well. It's a 2 versus 4, and Casse, surely this is their first round.
They've given so much respect, they'll even pop their own Viper's Pit in response. This is an expensive round for both of these teams. The fact that Toki will almost certainly be able to walk away with that op as well rings good things about that round. I mean, it was a very hefty round, especially across from... There it is, that's how it works. Thank you very much to everyone to observe the Zill.
Lovely catching it this time out. Flash is going to go and allow Freeze to peek, but they already got so far here, G2. Once again, getting so much ground right off spawn. And it's so hard because you just cut a giant hole in the defense, but Poetite has gone ahead and got a double. Toki's a little bit too committed in that position, and Juliano will make sure that at least a trade comes through. So we're back to even numbers at the equilibrium, but G2 commit into the plant. Hunter Fury gets them off of it, and Mimi actually dodged all the blast. Finally, the last one will land. Mimi's down to 70 though, and they'll go back to plant immediately.
Spike planted.
A skip, hop, and a jump, and she's able to avoid the first burst. Look. Whatever is necessary. I've seen players jump over Roombas before, so whatever works. And I love the fact that for G2, they are both proactive and reactive with their utility in a post-plant like this. They know that aggressive plant that they have up over towards B works. They know that they can shallow it as well.
Mimi's so low. Mimi's 30 HP, and that's going to be easy enough for Metzly to go ahead and take a kill on. Poetite is the player who has the most impact in this round. Incredible performance, getting a 3K, sets up her team with an opportunity to actually get back in for that retake. The more Casse get into this, the happier I will be, because we'll get a match out of this one, Jess.
That's what we want. I've already painted a very, very dire picture for their stats. I am all open to progression of any kind, and this defensive aggression, we saw it on Haven, but Mimi has no idea. She's almost touching the player below. It's Freeze. Does she know there's someone at least 2 above her? And with that drop, she gets a freebie. Yep. Where you going, girlfriend?
Got away with the opening here. Casse, and Toki is still aggressive, but needs to be careful. She's being spotted, and now in a tough spot. Luckily gets behind cover without losing her life. Look at Juliano, though. Look how deep she's got in towards this B site. She might be able to get in behind. And once again, though, you have to realize you've left a bit of a gap open on this B site. You have to somewhat be aware of this, but the res has come through. Mimi's back on her feet, and all 5 players on either side are still standing, and they think they can come back to B, but they're still going to have to deal with the aggressive B push. Metzly's got 1 for 1, but it's more about the information that she's seen that's more valuable to her team. But remember, Juliano's pushed so deep already. Will this defensive side be ready for that? Metzly's holding, and it might not even matter because she's got 3 kills. Spike is down, and Juliano starts to strike, going forward into the second, but the time, it's limited. And look at this, Metzly's got around the back again. Mary may realize that she's there on the flank, but it's all about the time,
10
the
seconds
limited
left.
time, and getting to the sun.
Oh,
Mary
sheesh.
swings. How has she done that? Repositioning for the plant. And oh, she's exposed to the open. And Metzly makes the right call to come back through middle and close it out. But my
Haven. Being able to position herself, I think having game sense at the level of Metzly, for example,
You want to
being able
play?
to lurk
Let's
around
play.
is also a great indication of a great lurker. Her ability to know when to engage and when to move back is what gave her the edge in that multiple different engagements there. And Toki, especially when she wasn't disabled there on her tour de force, have a big power position. No one spotted her yet,
Spike
but glad
down,
she'll
B.
spot it right in the middle.
coming back over towards here, G2. It started so strong for them. So convincing early on. But a challenge has presented itself in the form of Baddaje. Luckily, Mimi gets that tour de force into action. Mary wins an important fight. Metzly has been just unbelievable so far. But so that's such an important kill to find. Viper's pick goes down onto the site. And now, Kasse, you start to consider your options. Is there a way back into this retake? It's going to be so difficult. And they've got
Deploying
information utility. They send out the L-drone to go and have a look and try and peer the first player at least. A couple of flashes still alive here too, but Mimi is just not stopping. Tour de force goes again, and with that kill, that's enough to send them back. That's enough to force them into the save call. Just too much to do here, and Juliano goes into the fight. Poetite falls to the rifle, and JustHarry is left inside of Tube. We'll see if she's able to
Petra
save her
knows.
weapon over, because she might not be able to.
Those were warning shots, Freeze. Just so you're aware. Opportunity for you right now to keep this weapon. And she will end up doing it. But what I will say, she's able to bait out both of those ulti, be it a very small, sample size to work from, of course. But that's something that they are giving respect still to this moment. Still saying, whilst we might be better than you, we know it. We are going to invest what we need to ensure this round. And with no ultimates on the side of G2 at the moment, there is a Viper's Pit and a Res that's facing them. And that's something that they're going to have to work out with these rifles.
Well, a lot of information could have been picked up with that 0 point, but they actually didn't get it because the knife was destroyed. So Toki's going forward, and Petra looks on up. The angle held is just a tilting one to have to deal with. And now you don't really know what you're up against around the corner, but they see so many players in the crosshair area instead. They're just going to let the flank of Juliano come around the backside. How is Juliano finding all this space? It's just wild. She's just always pushing forward, getting little gaps. And
Turkish team at the moment. Someone that was able to beat Guild X, for example. No one trumps them on their defensive side. So that's a big worry if you're Kasse. Please press the trigger.
Yeah, it's luckily we get to see that, but from Toki's perspective, she has no idea how close she was to eliminating one of the most pivotal pieces of this G2 team. Juliano pushing up the tube. Again, finding so much ground here early on for G2. She might actually just get an opening here too. There's a read here from Poetite. There's possibility, but Juliano's still able to beat it out. And she was so close to seeing the second player just a pixel away from that head being revealed. And luckily that pixel will be tucked away, and Toki will actually best Juliano in the fight. 55 seconds. The spike is currently outside of A, and there's two B players have shown enough presence to at least try and keep a couple of players there, but there's a commitment to the Viper's Pit here from the defense on this A side that G2 have to go either over or through.
Why?
And Mimi and Mary, well, that's one way. I did not anticipate that being a possibility.
I have two whys. I have two whys. Why is there not a trademark in kitchen from ramp, and why would you leave your pit? Both of you swing out as if you emerging from the smoke gives you a cloak of invisibility. This is not Harry Potter.
Right here.
Yeah, that's rough. There, I was saying, you've got the Viper's Pit. It's a big problem you have to try and negate, right? But you either go over it, you have to go through it. You're likely to lose a couple of players. And then as soon as I say it, both of the players inside of the pit just run out and die. So, I mean, that's the easiest way of doing it for G2. It was just highly unlikely that would ever happen. And that's the way it happens. I mean, that's just a mistake on Kasse's part.
One enemy remaining.
Now the saving players won't be able to save their weapons because Toki, stuck behind yellow, she might get her weapon away, actually. They're far away, but Mary's come around and just about gets that. Toki goes down, and they don't have anything, Jess. So,
map like Icebox, where certain avenues and passages require intense control, B-Long being one of them, for example, as MissLaia falls, that is something you must be crisp and clear with. And this is why Kase will lose certain parts of map control, and you cannot have minute mistakes like that, because G2 will take control of it, they will exacerbate it, they will manipulate it, and you will lose control of the very little control you had to begin with.
Yeah, G2 shouldn't have too many problems unless they got Tube and walk into this double stack in the kitchen, but that shouldn't be happening. Juliano, very aware of what kind of buy she's going up against. Metzly to walk into a rock in a hard place, and it's really only the rock that's able to do the damage, or needed to, rather. Easy kill. Another 2 versus 5 situation here for Kase. Both of those players still up towards kitchen. Juliana's in a position where she just got away as they're moving forward.
Remaining.
Reels on the other side of the Toxic Cloud and able to get a pick, and Juliano goes into the fight. Freeze actually was able to hold for the headshot, so not too bad there. But getting much more out of this, obviously at 11 HP, the best thing you could probably do here is save this Vandal.
Yeah, I thought about that. That was my very first thought. She was able to drop it, take it, and run. That being said, if I'm G2, you got 3 players alive, the bank looking good, you've already hit the, best and biggest, brightest lottery win that has been this half, especially this quarter of this game. So why not go hunting? Why not have a little look? Because Freeze is lit up. And she's going to be hovering somewhere towards the B side. And look at the minimap right now. They are going to be sprinting. See who they can find, where they can find. They thought it was Tube last time, so they'll just surely run up towards it. But with 6 seconds left, I don't think there's enough time to be able to find her out here. If they were able to drop this, great, perfect, well done.
Last round.
Oh, I wanted it. I wanted it desperately. I saw the pings, but no one's going for it. And Toki, always looking for that early pick, that early aggression. And so far, it hasn't really reaped any rewards. So I'm not sure about how much.
Oh, okay. All right, the drone comes backing up into Metzly. I thought she was about to get spotted by it, but no, you know where she is now anyway, off of that Juliano. Ooh, thought she had the gap going up towards Tube. Gets rid of the trademark. It ends up not being able to react in time. So often you would back Juliano in that position. Pretty good start here right now for Kase. Got a lot of information.
Everything.
And they got the first.
Cooling down, shutting them down.
They aren't committed anywhere. That's the great thing about G2 right now. They leave themselves with options on the table pretty much every single round, right? They commit in towards A. They have 2 players kind of selling that commitment, but the spike's hanging back. There's still 2 players very far back, and now they're looking to go up through mid together, setting up one prong to the approach to look outside of B. And now she's just going to move forward on this. Mary's ulted into this one. The null command goes forward. 29 seconds left. Not a lot of time, Jess. It's very clear to us now they want to try and finish on this B side.
It was a late rotate. That's why they had to pop the ult. They had to commit what they could to be able to get in, because time was wavering. The fact that EMEA isn't able to get kitchen control, no one went Tube. They know there's probably not going to be a trademark there, but that wasn't even going to be it. It was the time that was dwindling, and the fact they even get a plant, and Mary goes nuclear. It's all up. It's a glance. She's had a quiet one, but she hasn't needed to have a big loud one just yet, Dinko.
A 1 versus 2 for Glance. A tough position. You don't have a lot of movement here. You don't have a lot of space to breathe. But luckily, Glance gets one, but commits to the wrong angle on the flick out to the left. And Metzly doubling up, able to pull through another round here for Kase. Lovely round for Mary there. Lovely multi-kill, but just not enough to get them over the line.
That's dangerous.
Definitely is. Juliano holding for the roundabout peak, and Mary's turn to try and back it up because Juliano went down without anything. But Mary is looking so clean right now. 2 crispy shots. And Mary's going to get out of that. He gets so much info off that 0.2. Look at that. She knows the last 3 players are.
I'm glad you decided to slow it down there, Dinko, because my worry was, you get 1 bite, you get 2, it tastes good, so you keep going, but all of a sudden, you've bitten off more than you can chew. Headhunter v Headhunter? Yeah, that's called the Mimi Chamber Diff.
Oh, Metzly and Freeze have come through, actually cleaned out both Mary and Mimi. Double M combo out of that. But it's a 2 versus 2. Spike yet to go down. And the 2 G2 players left have full health. Same can be said for the Casse remaining members too. So this is going to be really difficult for Casse because they know they have to commit to the plant eventually, and that will take one of the players out of commission. And G2 have to be careful when the Freeze come around the other side of yellow. Surely it's a double, and it will be. Freeze gets the double kill, and a 5th round now for Casse.
Absolutely Freeze and Metzly, especially on Icebox, especially on those agents. It just seems to be their comfort zone. So the fact that they win that out, they swing together, they show some prime fundamentals. Winning out that pistol, and what I will give them a lot of credit for is they seem to be quite proficient on their pistol rounds, especially over multiple series now. So if they can extend that onto, you know, half buys, full buys, this becomes a very scary Spanish roster.
Oh, Mimi only has 2 left in the Headhunter.
That's all she needs.
Yeah, maybe she can get 2 out of it. That's the scary part.
I cannot use that.
Waiting for a peek up on the left side, but it is going to be the right side. The most likely peek will come from, but wall goes up. Mimi not spotting anything just yet, but they're priming themselves to go through the top 6 screen with the flash assist, but nothing coming out of it. No kills there from Area Mimi. It's not looking good for G2 to get a single kill just yet. Maybe Petra can pick off one of the low HP players. But the plant coming through.
Spike planted.
It rounds to the 6. And this isn't bad at all. You know, you're considering the storyline we painted at the start of this one, that we were bringing up how G2 have been undefeated so long. You know, Casse have really never played this map that often. And, you know, this
that will have been the biggest upset in Game Changers history for me, and yeah, absolutely something that I'm willing to stand by, and something that will excite me dearly. The fact that there are only 2 rounds of difference now, Dinko. I don't want to get ahead of myself. It's pistol at second. There's a full buy coming out, you know, for the side of G2 now, so momentum does swing and the pendulum does happen to swing the other way, but I like so far what we're seeing, and Icebox is a map that can provide very good attacking showing from teams, so that's something I'm hoping Casse have been able to do in their scrims in the off time.
good info about to be picked up from this. 0 point gathering how many players are attacking currently in towards this A side. We should be seeing those rotations come in based on that. They're regressive rotations as well from G2, not the traditional pathing to the retakes. You really need your teammates inside of the site to hold and delay and allow this flank to actually be viable. And we'll see actually they call it off, but Juliano's coming back to go through the more safe route. They'll let that one player rotate around the backside, but this is definitely keeping Casse contained for the time being, and this is scary now because look how many players the G2 have rotated over and they can't run back. 30 seconds. Petra and Juliano have arrived to the party, and while it's a G2 party, certainly not that of Casse.
What I will say is that was the round I was expecting from G2. This is the round where we work out what is the capability of Casse on their attacking side. Both teams fully equipped. How does it look? What are they going to show us? This is what I'm looking for. And I'm glad there is a lot of orb economy there from the side of G2 as well. Playing the long game out of this, making sure the right players get the right ultimates at the right time. Or as early as possible even. The efficiency, the efficacy of what they're looking to be able to gain here on this particular map is something they've done time and time again. And a nice little crossfire here from both of these players means they'll possibly be able to get one of the front runners, whether it's Freeze, whether it's Metzly, one of the big players right now, from the side of Casse. And no one could TP out of it.
Oh, good angle selection there from Glance. Makes it very difficult for anybody to trade if there was a second player in behind. But look at this now. They stacked that third player over here too. Petra's come back. She was initially holding middle, but has come back to help out on this B side defense. 45 seconds. Petra, a little shoulder peek for information. Does spot a lot. Sends the recon bolt up to. Gets one at least. 35 seconds though for the attacking side. And they're going elsewhere.
There is not enough time for this. There is a big player waiting for this. Mimi can hear the footsteps. Does she back up? I would if I was her. Grab one, back up again. Grab another, back up again. There. Nope. Okay. Caster's curse, ladies and gentlemen. I apologize. You can message me later if this goes wire.
Well, 15 seconds, there's certainly very limited options for mistakes to come through. You cannot make an error right now. You have to immediately start planting when you get to the site. And luckily, there's just enough time to get the plant, but not much more. Everything else for Mary is there. 3 kills yet again, and the defuse coming through, of course. 10 rounds now for G2. Double figures reached, and yeah, a wild decision to make the approach away from B run
Our control over towards that side. If it's A side, that'll be the one. And then the possibility for rotate is there, but with no player there, no intel, that's not just a dangerous game, that's an irresponsible game to play. Oh, no wonder they were expecting defensive aggression. Look at this. Back in Haven, round 1 to 6, Kase held back in spawn, expecting defensive aggression. G2 looking like there's players every now and then wanting to provide that, but not overextending. Just tiptoeing the line upon what's appropriate on the defensive side and what's not. I'd TP now if I was you, Mimi. Okay, just take it.
Yep, just tank it, see if you can get a pick, and then run out the traditional way. I like it. I like the confidence.
Teleport's broken.
And while she gets away with it, teleport broken. Should want to use it anytime soon anyway. Our teammates have all come over to bolster this. There's actually aggressive play through middle here from G2. They might even try and get a flank around the backside, depending on how long this one takes. There is a trademark spotting for that right now, though. Juliano's waiting.
30 seconds
She's got
left.
a pretty good angle here. 3 players tucked behind yellow. It's a stalemate because right now G2 know Kase have to be the team to make the move. They're the team that has to leap to the site.
Oh, it's the quiet before the storm, Dinko. 15 seconds. This happened last time.
This is wild. There's still so much available. There goes the pit being sent out, but you have to commit immediately. G2 looking to leap in. It's in their best interest to just try and stop that, and they will. They'll send everything in. The spike, not going to be enough time to plant it, and that is unfortunate. I think Mary got away with that one with a fragment, and she goes ahead and gets another 3K, and they clean up with a 4K. Mary is just looking unbelievably.
And to come into a championship roster and be an even bigger champion is so hard to do, Dinko, so that's incredible.
Good catch here from Solve, good lineup, but no one in position to get damaged by that shock dart.
Oh, they missed the trademark off that too. They must have thought it was left. Interesting. Who places it left? I mean, left from an attacking perspective. Everyone places that either across a little bit more. Anyway.
Or the right.
Yeah.
Should be fine. Should be fine, but at this point, for Kase, the one big worry is Juliano, who is behind them, Jess.
No, where's the trademark?
Right
the trademark is misplaced again. I can't keep doing this. Make it stop, Dinko. Put the trademark on the flank or you will get massacred. I'm done. I'm done. They are not allowed trademark anymore.
I was so happy that you actually had the visual representation of exactly what is going to happen if you keep making that mistake.
Ludicrous places considering the push. I beg you, please. We're on series point, match point. Finally, the trademark gets destroyed. If they do an A push and the trademark is over towards B long, I will cry. It is, so whatever. It's probably match point now as a result.
Terminus.
Well, Toki, let's see if it's the rifle, the chamber that can make the difference. Coming into the gun round at least. Maybe we can keep him in it. That'll be the most fantastic performance. Bottom of the board in terms of kill count, and obviously big mistakes in utility usage too. But Sound Q mid on the drop down. Lance is going to peek it. 55 seconds. Here comes that null command, strip forward, attacking in towards this A site. The pack of wolves at the door. Kase have the advantage, and they are now looking to try and collapse on this A side. They've often left themselves with little time in the round, but this time, what? Okay.
Okay.
Where did that bullet go? I have no idea, but that is wild how that has not worked out. Luckily for G2, they had the res, so 4 players are still on their feet, still ready to go for this retake to try and close it here and now, but Kase have every opportunity to still stay in this one. They've got the Hunter's Fury available for the post plant. They've even got a res at their own. Poetite has gone down, but Toki having a big round here, making up for a lot of errors throughout this one. A 3K found, and just one player left in the form of Petra. She'll go forward into the depths to try and take every weapon out of their hands, but winning this round is no longer possible. It is another round, at least, on the life support of Kasse.
Having the mental resilience to move on from that big mistake just goes to show that Kasse, they're not letting that really ring in, and this match point isn't stopping them from being able to engage confidently, get onto the site, execute, have really strong post plants. This scoreline is way better than I thought it would be from the get-go, and now it's something they can extend with this weaponry, so I'd like to see them do so.
At least they're well prepared and learned from the mistakes this time around, Jess. So
Poison's off.
maybe they heard you through the airwaves.
I wouldn't be surprised if my entire neighborhood heard me.
Yes, a lot of confused Italian people, I'm sure, on the street at the moment. Buenos Aires to you all. But 54 seconds. Juliano.
There we go. There it is.
And they wait for it. They finally spot her out. Juliano gets picked off. The commitment forward now for Kasse. Numbers charging in towards the site, and they have destroyed G2's defense. Petra sending in the Hunter's Fury. It has taken out Metzly, but that is it. The single kill found from the Hunter's Fury. It has to be a 2 versus 4. It's very unlikely G2 get back in here, and we will have to see another round of play.
There's one.
Shot done.
Ooh, good read.
Yeah, good read indeed. Now the second one's coming in to confirm that position in the spam, but no kill. No kill yet for Petra in that one tucked position. And all going forward. Mimi's come in. The headhunter with a headshot. There's no way. There's absolutely no way it can finish like this. All the damage has been done. And Petra looks for MissLaia, finds her, and I'm just so shocked. It's inconceivable how G2 can win a round like that. They just do it again. How have they won that retake?
The snow should
Mimi and Petra being two of the, outside of like Juliano and Zaz, welcome back to my exasperated face.